Welcome to another installment of the Author's Corner with H.D. Campbell. As always, I'm your host, H.D. Campbell. I have another show that's so big it had to be put in a 2 hour block, especially with these two jam-packed interviews. My first interview is with Abenaa. She's an entrepreneur. She has a lot of natural products. She has natural hair gels, natural skin cream. And it's so wonderful and so easy to use. And again, it's natural. Then later in the show, we'll be doing a cooking segment. Next, we'll talk to author Luna Charles Hardcastle. Luna is a great friend. We've been friends for years. She's a fellow sci-fi nut as well as a great author in her own right. She's very accomplished. This interview, we're going to talk about family, her books, her love of sci-fi, Marvel vs. DC, a whole bunch of different things as we get to know her. So when we return, we'll start off with author, entrepreneur, natural cook Abenaa.
Get to know DJ Boss on his new Facebook page, Google Plus page, his YouTube channel, or Instagram page. Get to know the Show Me Records powerhouse as he talks about ripping up the stage and still making time for God and family. It's going to be an exclusive interview with DJ Boss coming soon to the Show Me Records page and on the Author's Corner with H.D. Campbell.
Red over stupid shit.
Press kits, manuscript editing, marketing, and more. What do you need? H.D. Campbell Productions will help you design a package you need for your project. Let us serve you with your literary or marketing needs. We do editing, press kits, book trailers, book formatting, marketing, web editing, and more. What can H.D. Campbell do for you? Log on to his website at hdcampbell.weebly.com for more information. You can email him at hdcampbell1230@gmail.com or call him at 314-265-9169 so he can set up a package for you. Check us out, and as always, let your writing fuel your spirit.
Welcome back to the Author's Corner. My first author slash entrepreneur is a woman named Abenaa. Abenaa, she makes a lot of natural products. You'll see during the interview. She also does natural cooking, in which she's working on a cookbook for that, which will be out shortly. Well, without further ado, here's Abenaa. Why don't you start by telling me your name?
Abenaa. My name is Tremaine Moore, but you could call me Abenaa.
Okay, excellent. Now we're going to start the uncomfortable interview before we go over to the great cooking segment. Yeah?
Hey,
All right, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Can't complain. Thank you for stopping to talk to the Author's Corner today. I really appreciate it. I want to start off by talking about your hats. You wear a lot of hats. What type of hats do you wear?
Okay. I guess we can start by my cooking skills or whatever. I love to cook, so right now, like I said, I'm more leading a more healthier lifestyle as far as my eating habits. So right now, I'm a vegan vegetarian. I eat fish. I'm still trying to wean myself off of chicken, so you may catch me with the chicken from time to time. But I love to cook. I also make my own products. I use shea butter to make a conditioner for the skin and hair, and black soap shampoo. And I also now I have rose water conditioner. It's just like a spray leave-in conditioner. I have samples of everything here. You can see.
Cool.
This is the shea butter. Let's see that.
Ooh, nice. You know, it actually looks just like whipped butter. It really is.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's actually whipped, so it's nice and light, absorbs easily into the skin. I have different scents, scents for men, scents that I make primarily for your hair to stimulate hair growth. It has rosemary oil in it. So I have a variety things for your hair and your skin, natural products. And I also make my own jewelry. You can see some of the samples.
Ooh, I like that.
That's a necklace. This I'm wearing right now is something that I made.
Is there like a thing at the end of it?
What was it?
Or is it just a chain or is there anything at the end of it?
Yeah, it's an
Oh, nice cross. Okay. I like that. Cool.
Yeah. And this is another example of an ounce necklace that I made.
Okay.
Um,
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, before we go into that, I want to start off by asking, at what point did you begin to start on this entrepreneurial journey?
I'm going to say it started maybe 3 years ago. I started to become more conscious of my surroundings and things that's going on. And I was also born with a rare birth defect in my left leg. It's a lymphatic disorder. So my lymph nodes, they don't drain well. So my left leg is bigger than my right leg. And I've been going back and forth to the doctor like from the time I was born because it's something new they never saw before. So now I'm like, within the last 3-4 years, I've been trying to find things to help with my health by myself, and that's just changing my diet, and that's been really helping. And with changing my diet, I also decided, to let my natural hair grow out, and that's how I started making the products because the products are so expensive in the stores. But you can buy the stuff yourself and make it. So I started making it and handing it out to friends and family, and they liked it. So I'm like, you know what? I can bottle this.
Okay. Well, that's also what I wanted to talk to you about too, because the natural is a lot of times the way to go. And I don't want to delve too far from the interview, and I don't like getting too political, but a lot of times you do get into situations where you realize drug companies versus the natural technically are two different animals, because the drugs they prescribe you with the side effects are a lot different from the natural,
Right.
which can actually heal you without side effects.
Exactly. And like you say, not trying to get too political, but for me, it's just something to keep you buying those products.
Mm-hmm.
To keep you sick, you have to keep buying the same products over and over again, and you never really heal what your ailment is. You just put a Band-Aid on it, and when you peel the Band-Aid off, then the scab comes back off, and now you're dealing with the same problem over and over again.
Right.
And yeah, but that's not what I want to do. I want to get to the root of the problem and heal the root of the problem, so you won't have this existing condition. Like, these products help with eczema. Like, they help to clear up the skin and keep you moisturized and everything, and not like something you would have prescribed to you, because you keep buying that same prescription over and over again. Like, yeah, I still have eczema, it clears up at certain times, but you need to have something that you can use constantly all the time, that you know this product is going to work, and if I don't use it for a week, the effect of the product is still in my skin and in my body. So it's still curing, it's still helping.
Right. So in other words, instead of killing the eczema, we're putting a Band-Aid over the eczema as well. So yeah, so like I say, that's why I love natural products. Natural products work. We had a conversation a few weeks ago about also your ingredients. So in other words, if a child accidentally eats it, we don't have to call poison control.
Right.
So I love that.
Yeah, if you ingest it, you definitely will not have to call poison control. It's all oil, so I wouldn't suggest eating it though. But
Right.
just in case, just if your kids or something like that, if they were to ingest it, it's good.
I love that. So, are you working on any cookbooks or anything? Or
Yes, I am working on a cookbook. With the cooking, I'm taking pictures, so everything that I cook, I'm going to be taking pictures of and everything. Hopefully, I have all the recipes together that I want to use for the cookbook, so I'm in the process of just putting it all together.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say, besides a pretty smile, I'm going to ask this question: what makes you stand out from other vegan cooks besides a pretty smile?
Okay, what makes me stand out from other vegan cooks is that I like to take what I already eat and revamp it to make it more healthier and still filling, but bad ingredients, without the bad ingredients. So like I make macaroni and cheese. I love macaroni and cheese, but I found a vegan alternative for making macaroni and cheese because you can buy like the quinoa noodles. That's better than the regular elbow, whatever macaroni noodles you use. And then I use vegan cheese and vegan butter and almond milk, unsweetened almond milk, and I make macaroni and cheese.
See, I
It's
love
not
that.
something that I eat all the time, but when you want macaroni and cheese, there's a healthier alternative, and it tastes the same. It tastes good.
I'm about to say it probably tastes better than Kraft any day.
Yeah, it tastes way better than that. Anything you make natural that doesn't come out of the box that you prepare by yourself is going to taste better than anything you can ever buy out of the box.
See, I love that. I love that. And see, the other problem too is being a natural cook as you are. The main problem is trying to wean yourself off of the food that you're used to. How hard is that?
It is. What I can say is, I don't want to. My aim is not to try to convert people to be vegans or vegetarians, which that would be nice. But I would want you to incorporate more of these healthier alternatives into what you already eat. And if you do want to cut things out, like do it like one at a time because for the most part, everybody is used to eating a certain way for the past, 30, 40, 50 years or however old you may be. So I would say like I stopped at first with pork and I stopped eating pork and I went to beef and then so I think one at and then at the same time just import healthier things into your diet.
Okay. Now, I want to go out on a limb. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But it also sounds like when you're going to write this cookbook, when you do the thing, when you teach people, you don't sound preachy to me. You sound like you just sound like here's some alternatives for you. Is that an accurate statement?
Right. I don't want to preach to anyone, and I don't want to tell anyone what to do because, I mean, people are going to eat what they want to eat regardless. But at the same time, I think that, like, we're plagued with so many diseases in our community, like cancers and diabetes, and sometimes just having a salad every day or making a green smoothie in the morning, but instead of having a big breakfast, eating a smoothie, and you can still eat whatever you want to eat, but just your body having that nutrition is what's going to benefit you.
A lot of people don't realize that a lot of natural foods kill a lot of cancer.
Right.
And people don't realize that. I mean, even when you go to the cancer treatment center, that's an alternative that they have. The natural food choice. So it's just a wonder not a lot of people have jumped on it. But I do understand why. And again, I don't want to get political, but medicine makes money, and you're not going to stop the flow of money. So,
Right.
So it's freaking insane.
It is insane. But if you can help one person or two people or somebody might see you talking about it and they may have an ailment that they know that maybe eating a healthier lifestyle can change it or can cure it. If me speaking and having this interview, if it can help one person, that's great because that one person can tell one other person and then that's how the message spreads. And it's like, we've been eating like this for so long, so we have to take our times and hit one person at a time or however we can get it to get our message across.
Okay. All right. Well, please excuse my compliments again, but I've got to go on to my next question. You're very beautiful, and it means that you use your own products. Tell me about some of the beauty products that you use.
The products that I use, like I said, is the natural
Hold it up.
shea butter cream. I use this every day. I use it on my hair. I use it on my skin.
So you
I
can.
also have the black soap shampoo. Now the shampoo is primarily for your hair. However, I also use it as a body wash and a face cream.
Nice.
You can see the ingredients. If you can see it, I don't know if you can see it.
Let's see. No, but I'm almost certain that they're all natural.
Yeah, it is all natural.
You know.
But I use it to wash my face in the morning. Black soap is anti-aging. It helps with wrinkles, scars, blemishes. Like I said, eczema, psoriasis, all of that. So I use it, you know, to wash my body, my face, and also for my hair.
Okay.
Those are the things that I use. I have replaced everything. I don't use any other store-bought products. I only use my products.
And I'm almost, and you know, and my other thing is, I bet you're a lot more affordable than the products in the stores.
It is way more affordable, and I make my prices affordable so that people can get the same healing from the products they would get in the store. They can get it from me at an affordable price, and at the same time, I don't add any other chemicals or any other artificial colors, flavorings, anything. All the scents that are in the product are all from essential oils.
And you want to talk about allergies and eczema and everything, that probably what causes a lot of it. The artificial chemicals that's in a lot of these other products.
Right. Like they have healing things in, like you will buy a product and they may say it has shea butter in it, but shea butter may be like the third or fourth, fifth ingredient in the product, so it doesn't really have a whole lot of shea butter, but it has a whole lot of other things in there that you don't even know what it is. And since you don't know what it is, you don't know what type of effect it's going to have on your body. Because your skin is like the biggest organ on your body, so it's a living, breathing organism.
Mm-hmm.
So when you put that stuff on your body, those things that you can't pronounce, like your skin is eating that, like you're digesting that in some way.
Deal.
So it's keeping the disease around or creating something new, some other side effect.
Exactly. Well, let me ask you this. How has your leg been since you've been using natural products?
My leg has been awesome. It has been awesome. Like the size of it is going down, not only from using the products, from my changing my eating lifestyle, the way that I eat. My leg stays more moisturized now. I don't have to keep moisturizing it all the time. It's healing. Like anything that was on it that wasn't healing is all healing up now, and I just feel so good about it. Like, because this is something I've been dealing with, like, since the time I came out of the womb.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because...
I'm 34 now.
Right. Yeah, because the point I'm bringing up is, as opposed to the drugs they kept giving you, the treatments they kept giving you, the earth actually has natural ingredients that can heal. And people don't realize, we, as a people, actually... survived before Walgreens. Before Walgreens was even ever existed. So so we were doing something right.
We doing it before.
Right. So so before CVS and Walgreens, we were doing a whole lot. So my next question is, so how do you sell your products?
Right now, I have a website that you can purchase the products off of, and I sell off of the website. And I also am local, so I'm at the local flea market and farmers market out here in Charleston, South Carolina.
Okay. And so what's your website again?
My website is naturallygeeky.com.
Okay. Well, actually, you know what? I think I have actually checked that out. I think I like the website. Also, too. So, what are your price ranges for your things?
The shea butter actually comes in 3 different sizes. It's a 2-ounce. Hold on, let me find. I had a 2-ounce. Well, the 2-ounce size, I didn't bring a 2-ounce with me, but it's a smaller. It's half this size, so this is a 4-ounce. And the 2-ounce of the shea butter is $7. this size is going to be $12, and then I have an 8 ounce. Yeah, um, that's actually $17.
Okay, that is very cheap. I like that. That's very
Yeah,
reasonable.
and then for the shampoo, it's the same. Like the shampoo, the is 4 ounces, and this is $7.
Okay,
And then I have the 8 ounce shampoo, and this is 13.
okay. I also like how you're very reasonable as far as price is concerned and everything. Have you ever thought about making? And this is just something I'm throwing out here. Have you ever thought about making actual soap, natural soap?
I have actually thought about it and experimented a little bit in the past, but it's not it is a what I really want to do is find a way to make my shampoo more foaming when you use it as a body wash. And
Oh,
to yeah, because like right now, it foams great on your hair, but like if you want to use it as a body wash, it's hard to get it to foam like on a loofah.
I got you.
Yeah, and as far as making it into a soap, the only thing I have a problem with is I have to find something that's natural to make it hard
I got you.
and stay hard. Yeah.
That makes sense. That makes sense. So, and what type of ingredients do you use for your products?
I use all natural essential oils, like rosemary oil. Rosemary oil helps stimulate hair growth. I use macadamia nut oil, jojoba oil, coconut oil, and the hair and the growth stimulation package. I also use castor oil. Castor oil helps is good with circulation and stimulate. It also helps to stimulate hair growth. Um, and then I also put the shea butter inside of the shampoo. So it actually helps to create more moisture with the shampoo in your hair instead of it won't get so dried out. And what other oils? Also use grapeseed oil. All these oils are good for dry hair, itchy scalp, all of the conditions that we pretty much plague with, oily skin, and like I said, all the skin conditions, eczema, psoriasis, it helps with all of that.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So, how do your customers receive them?
They love it. Actually, last weekend at the flea market, I have a little thing going on with this guy. He came and I was telling him about the products and its benefits. So he's supposed to be calling me back tomorrow. So he bought the large size. So he said he's going to throw away all of his other moisturizers and he's just going to use that for a week. And at the end of the week, he's going to call and let me know exactly how the products worked out for him. And I said, I guarantee you, you will be calling me back for more. So he said he'll be calling me back tomorrow, so I'll find out what he thinks about it. I have regular customers that call all the time. Actually, I have someone waiting on me. After this interview, I'll be contacting him. He calls me about every week or two to buy the shea butter, and that's all he uses. He calls me. I'm on the way, and he told me I'm on the way in an hour. I'm like I'm not there. So I'll call
Hmm.
you when I get back. So they're loving it.
That's what I'm talking about. That's definitely what I'm talking about. So, now switching gears, how far out is the cookbook?
The cookbook, I'm going to say, I'm actually in school also, but I'm out for summer break right now. So I'm saying by June, excuse me, at the beginning of June, I should be finished with the cookbook, and then I'll just be looking for publishing.
Okay, sounds nice. Sounds nice. Now, here's the biggest thing. This is what I've been waiting for. Um, you are going to make us a green smoothie.
Yes, I am going to make a green smoothie with kale as the green. I want to make it with kale, mango, and banana and orange segments.
Okay. That was a wonderful interview, and I can't wait for you guys to see the cooking segment, which will air later in the show. But right now, I want you to see part one of Luna Charles Hardcastle's interview. Let's get to know her as a person, an author, and a sci-fi nut. Stay tuned.
Have you experienced the Bruce Williams series of books, How to Lose a Black Woman and Geraldine? Experience Bruce Williams' journey, true love, and possible missteps along the way through his eyes, his poetry, and prayers. Then, meet Geraldine, whose own search for love makes some quite interesting and possibly dangerous turns. When she gets involved in a love triangle, she must find out within herself whom she wants to be with and whom she needs to be with. With special appearances by Bruce Williams, Geraldine and her friends help you experience her journey. Try How to Lose a Black Woman and Geraldine at your local bookstore, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or on your Nook and Kindle tablet. From the romantic mind of Shonell Bacon comes her debut masterpiece, Let Me Love You Down. Follow the story of Jessica Watkins, a 22-year-old first-time high school teacher. She meets 17-year-old Kyle Rogers, a smooth-talking but soft-spoken senior. A near tragedy brings Kyle and Jessica together as the best of friends and confidants. Eventually, the two fall in love, but with Jessica being Kyle's teacher brings major complications. Read Jessica Watkins' story in Let Me Love You Down, exclusively at Amazon and coming soon to Nook and your favorite bookstore.
Welcome back. My next interview is with Luna Charles Hardcastle. Like I said earlier, she's a great friend. She's a sci-fi nut. She's really funny, and she has a wonderful sense of humor. And not a lot of people get her sense of humor. I like people who are really just naturally funny, and she's one of them. And then she talks about being a wife. She talks about being a mother. She talks about just loving the skin she's in. So without further ado, here's Luna Charles Hardcastle.
I'm Luna Charles because that's my name I was born with. I'm Hardcastle because that's my married name. It really doesn't matter to me. So you can call me whichever, but I write under Luna Charles. That's the name I write under. That's the name that I'm known professionally by, Luna Charles.
Okay. Well, why don't we just start at the beginning? How old were you when you first discovered you had writing talent?
The first time you know what? I want to say that I used to write when I was really, really little in Haiti, but I don't remember. When I was a kid, it was a very, I don't want to say traumatic, it was just a very eventful time in my life, going through Haiti. My mom was up here. It was the time that there was civil war and revolutions and stuff. It was all of that. But I do remember the first story I wrote, which was in middle school. And I must have been like, I don't know, 12 when I wrote it. And, you know, my teacher was oppressed. My friends were impressed. Like, everybody was impressed. That's my first memory of writing something that I got feedback from. So I would say 12. So.
Now, I want to go back somewhere before I get back into your writing. You have a very wonderful, bubbly personality. You mentioned back in the day, you know, you weren't always the popular kid, but at some point, your sense of humor won the day. When did you start developing a sense of humor?
You have to have a sense of humor when you come from a life. Like, I think I have, like many, many people, have a very tragic story. You know, it's the whole, my mom was a single mom, I didn't know my father, yay, Dad, don't come looking for a liver. You know, type of thing. It's always been like, my sense of humor developed from sarcasm. You know, it was my way of hiding the pain inside. Like, my writing was my way of expressing. Like, if you ever read my stuff, there's a lot of emotions in it. There's a lot of energy in it, and it's because I'm crying while I'm writing every single word, whether it's fiction or story or short stories or books. I write it from the heart. Like, I put myself in that place because I am in that place of other people. of my characters feeling it. And I don't know if everybody gets my sense of humor. I don't think everybody gets my sense of humor, because I can be a bit, I would say, non-traditional with my sense of humor, because I find a lot of things funny that people don't find funny, and I have a very sarcastic point of view of life, you know, where people are like, oh, this is so bad. I'm like, yeah, if you think it's so bad, why don't you do something about it instead of liking it on Facebook, because your thumbs up, it's not gonna do shit, you know. Like,
Well, I'm going to be totally honest with you. This author, this friend, and this host find your sense of humor very funny, because you have to laugh at yourself sometimes. If you can't laugh at yourself, then there's really,
you have to be able to laugh at yourself. I think I am the funniest person in the world, and it always trips me out that people ask me, how do I do what I do? And I'm like, same way you put your pants on, one foot in front of the other, you know, I mean, not one foot in front of the other, but one foot at a time, you know? I have 2 kids, they're 5 and 7, I have a husband, I have a full-time job, and I have this manic, obsessive, I need to do something beyond just watching TV, and I don't understand how people think that their life is fulfilled by sitting around and thinking about I don't know, Real Housewife or something that purse or shoes. Oh my God, did you see her hair? No, I did not. I don't care about her hair. Her hair is not going to do anything for me. Her purse is not going to do anything for me. Like, and I think it comes from, like, you come from a country like Haiti, okay? And if you know many Haitian people, for our situation, we're pretty freaking positive. Like, there is so much hate towards Haitian people from both the black community, white community, every community. They're like, oh, we suck because we are in the Western Hemisphere and we are so poor, but they have not tried to have the knowledge to understand it or anything about that. And they're just negative towards us, and we're just pretty positive people that go out every day and smile and laugh and do jokes and do our work, because that's what we have and we are going to work with it. There's nothing different than that. It's just our mentality. Hopefully I had friends that loved me because of that.
well, I'm your friend. Don't worry about that. You know, you have friends. Don't even worry about that.
That's all I need is one friend. Power to the one friend.
Yeah, that's no problem. That's not
Like
a problem.
super friends.
Exactly. Don't
That's friends with Batman. I'm not gonna say anything.
See, you know what? I'm trying not to get into the sci-fi conversation with you right now, because you know why? Because we could that can be a whole nother interview.
It's so sad. Because I have my 7-year-old watching Star Trek with me, and I'm, like, explaining to her all the different species,
Yep.
and things and stuff, and she's like, Mom, why does his forehead look like that? Why does his ears look like that? I'm like, because, baby, he is a Klingon and he's a Vulcan.
Right.
And she's like, she's weirded out because she doesn't quite understand it's not real. Because I guess to her, we're just all humans. And she's like, where do Klingons live? And I was like, in space. She was like, can we go there? I was like,
No.
I wish, no. And we wouldn't want to go there. I'm like not exactly up to Klingon standards. I need to like go into the gym, you know.
You know, it's
That's like 300 pounds.
well, I'm just pretty happy that.
You're going to, the Klingon homeworld.
Right. I'll tell you what. I'm glad I'm not the only one who tortures his child with that stuff. I torture my child too. Don't
I
feel
don't think
bad.
it's torture.
I don't think so either. I really don't.
I think sci-fi and everything else is a needed situation for mentality of kids to broaden their horizon, okay? Because what are you going to teach? What are they going to learn on regular TV? Like
Especially today.
oh, somebody's purse and shoes and what is that? They when you teach them about sci-fi and they learn about sci-fi and they read sci-fi and they see sci-fi, their minds expand exponentially to corners that allows them to think outside of Earth. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Go into the Milky Way galaxy. Think about black holes and wormholes and all kinds of things that Neil deGrasse, big up Neil deGrasse because he's awesome and he's hot.
You know what I'm talking about? Exactly.
You know, like watch the cosmos with them. I don't think black children, I don't care if it's African American children or Caribbean children or African children, are exposed enough to things that make you think outside of your realm of possibility.
You know what's sad?
To know that.
Well, I've often said too that I think it's sad that a lot of us, as African Americans or Haitian American, anyone black, did not know or got to experience who Octavia Butler was. Not a lot of us know who she was. See, you know who she was. I know who she was. But very few people don't.
No, I don't.
Oh, you don't? Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I'll cut that. But no, she recently died. She was one of the few black sci-fi writers.
Oh.
She had a small series. She died a few years ago.
See, I did not know that. There's like so many things that need, like, during Black History Month, we focus, and I understand it's important to focus on the root of it, Martin Luther King and Harriet Tubman, and that we need to expand it to the
other
guy
people
that helped with the first open heart surgery and invented the stoplight and wrote sci-fi and just. It's not the same 20 people.
Right.
Okay? It's huge. It's huge.
It's very huge.
Their contribution is huge on so many levels and on so many realms and on so many different aspects that we're not teaching kids because they're like, okay, well, then the only, historical black people are these people. When it's not, there is conquerors and kings and
exactly.
There is the Library of Alexandria, which I would give my right arm just to stand in there for like 20 minutes.
Right.
But they wouldn't find me because I would go hide somewhere. Be like, okay, I got 20 minutes to hide. Okay, come find me.
Wow.
Things like that. They need to be educated and lifted and know that they are just as big as a contribution fact of society as everybody else, but we keep focusing on those people, and those people were great and did wonderful things, but there were thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people that did great things that need to be mentioned because those thousands of people might be that one person that sparked interest and a new young soul to follow a path that otherwise they wouldn't have done. And we need to do that with our kids.
Absolutely. So yeah, like I said, this is why I feel, and that's why I agree with you. We need to expose our kids to sci-fi. Here's my other thing too. We get so much reality as far as these shows. We don't get enough fantasy. There's nothing wrong with us having a little fantasy.
Because really, I have not seen a reality television show that actually portrays reality. Okay? I'm not seeing a reality show that's based on a single father or a single mother that gets up at 6 o'clock every day and is grinding to help pay the bills and raise their kids properly, and is sitting there doing homework with them, and is coming there from a 40-hour work week, doing dinner, sitting, listening to them talk about them.
Going to their activities, something, right.
You're married rich, you have the bomb hair and the ridiculously expensive clothes, and that's what they grew up thinking that they're supposed to do. When reality is, most rich people are very low key people that you will know that live right next door to you, that go camping with their kids.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That drives year-old cars, that just enjoy life and enjoy having the perspective that they don't have to go to work 40 hours a week. They can work whenever they have and spend that time with their family. And that's what they need to teach kids. It's not about balling on a budget. It's about not needing to ball on a budget. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's about teaching them economics. It's about teaching them history. It's about teaching them to balance their books. Oh my gosh. I could go on this forever. Like, it's a pet peeve of mine. It's like a complete pet peeve of mine, because I go into the beauty salon to get my hair done, and I normally have a book, and I want to talk to someone.
I'm about to say, why do you do that? Because you don't.
Talk about some crap that I haven't heard or looked at or whatever, and it's like, oh girl, did you see? Oh my god, I can't believe she did that. But her weave was like absolutely fabulous, and I'm like, this is what you're putting into your brain? This is your thing. Like, okay. I mean, I'm not hating. That's your personal choice. You work 40 hours a week. You need to decompress. But if that's what you're constantly feeding your mentality and your subconscious, don't be angry and upset when you're living the same life that you're living today, you know?
Mm-hmm. But you know, while we're so busy, I'm going to switch gears in a minute. But while we're so busy worried about their lives, our lives are going to seed.
Yeah.
You know, worry about what weave they have and what they did last week. So no, you're exactly right. You're 100% right on that.
Like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like when I was a kid, besides one of my best friends, and she passed away from cystic fibrosis, I always felt like I was talking to myself because nobody was really listening. It was always a thing. Like, I would find something and I would run to my friends and say, oh my God, we can do this, you know? You want to buy a house, there are grants for first-time home buyers, and we can do this, and da-da-da, and nobody would listen. I bought my first house. My friends were like, okay, waiting to buy their house, even though I gave them the exact same steps that I took to buy my first house, okay? And I'm like, it's not that people don't hear you, it's just they don't want to listen.
Exactly.
They don't care to. They'd rather be part of the smoke screen. It irritates me because as a people, we complain a lot about the fact that we are not giving the same opportunities as everybody. Okay, you're not taking the opportunities that are presented to you. Okay, because you're like, okay, they're gonna give you $50,000 to put down on a house, but you gotta spend 6 months going to classes and learning all of these things. And they're like, 6 months? Oh my God.
What are you talking about? That's too much work. Exactly, right.
But then 6 months later, your show's still coming on, and you're still at the same location.
Right,
so,
right.
I don't understand. I have this thing. I don't know how many people hate on me because I do this thing. I absolutely, I can't say I hate. I dislike when people see something on Facebook, like somebody being harmed or something, and they're like, oh my God, if you want this person to get better, say it, amen.
Yes.
Like, okay, how about you skip your cup of coffee, go to the website that's helping them and donate $5.
Makes sense. It makes a lot of sense, you're right.
Do it. It's a cup of coffee. It's like not going out to lunch and taking leftovers, okay? Amen is great, but you need to physically help. Okay, you need to take an initiative. It's a thing with me. It's what I do. Like,
no, you're right. That $5 you spent at Starbucks could have been spent, donating to a cause.
it's like there was this thing. It was UNICEF. UNICEF had this thing called tap water earlier this year or last year or something that I did, and it was basically you download this app, okay, and for I think it was every 10 minutes or every 5 minutes that you go without moving your phone, a day of clean water gets donated to somebody that's needed. It was that simple. I doubt, okay, as many people did it as they checked their Facebook updates. And it was like, you're saving a life just by not touching your phone.
Right.
All you have to do was download the app, put your phone down for 20 minutes, and if it was 5 minutes, you would have saved like four days of water for a person in 20 minutes. Like, seriously. That's not more important than checking your Facebook update, but then everybody want to post up like, this is great, positive message, encouraging, whatever. Walk the talk. Walk the freaking talk. That's all. Like, but I digress.
I understand. Look, trust me, believe me. You're preaching to a guy that's been preaching stuff like this forever. So don't feel bad.
I'm done because I feel like sometimes I feel like it's not that I'm preaching to choir, but that people are not listening to me because of my past. Yeah, I've been to jail. I've been an abuser. I've done that. That was like 7 years ago. Okay? And I've never lied to anybody about it or what I've done. I put it all in my books. Point blank, period. I laid it out. Everybody knows where I stand on everything. I don't care. Because everything I need to be truthful. The people that I love, my family and my kids and my husband knows how I'm truthful. All I try to do in my books is write an entertaining story that inhabits all the spiritual teachings and knowledge that I've learned in that 7 years since the first time I went to jail. You know what I mean?
Well, before
and everything's happening for a reason. I was living that life. I was then making I don't know how much money, and it was like work hard, party harder. And you're living in Miami, so
right.
Like, you're in Miami. You're a pretty girl. You're making money. Trust me, the party comes to you, whether you're not even looking for it.
Well, two things before I get back into your books. Number one, I did not even know you've been in jail. But I really don't care, But number two, what were you doing to go to jail?
Seriously, I think I've been arrested like 7 times.
Right.
5 times was for violating probation. I think 4 of those times was for having dirty drug tests because I was smoking weed.
Right.
Okay. Which I'm sorry, I'm a big advocate of smoking versus drinking because a lot less people die when people are high versus drunk.
I agree.
Okay? Nobody ever had a high run over of a person in the middle of the street.
Absolutely.
Okay? And nobody ever got into a high fight and killed somebody or pulled out a gun and shot somebody while they were high. Maybe they did. I don't know. I'm just saying from my knowledge. But people are very angry when they're drunk versus when they're high. They're like, yo, bro, like, I'm gonna cook you something. Let's just chill and watch a movie. Like,
exactly. I understand. No, you're right.
That's the whole thing.
All right.
And it was different things. I hung around with the wrong people. I had a friend that, well, somebody that I had thought was a friend I knew for a long time, and things happen, and I learned, and it was a learning experience. It was the universe telling me, and that the people that I thought were friends were not, and I accepted that fact. I take responsibility for my actions. I was a part of it. I did that to myself, and I grew out of it, and I became a better person. Like, I got into meditating because I was in jail. Because I think somebody that was previously incarcerated became a Dharma teacher, which is like a Buddhist spiritual teacher. And they came the one day that I was there and was teaching people meditation, and I took part of that class, and meditation's been with me since then. So I always often think that I was there just to learn that. And sometimes that's what it is. You have to experience something just so you can get a bigger, better growth from it. That's what I got from it.
Well, I'll just tell you this. That's your past. Your past is your past. I mean, that still don't stop you from being a good person. And pretty much so, like I say, I really don't care. I just wanted to know what was going on. And
You know what? If somebody's going to judge me off of my past, so be it. If somebody, I don't do that with people, because everybody has experienced something. If you've never gone through anything in life, you're not living. You're dead.
Well,
You're
well, you know what? Well, you know what? Back in the day, Eddie Murphy once said that people act like they don't have skeletons. When you open up somebody's closet, they got whole cemeteries in their closet. Like, what's that bone? What's that bone doing in your shoe?
My stuff is there. Like, dude, it's public record. Google.
Right.
I have nothing to hide. If you're not gonna like me for who I am, like, I have my friend Sharon, and she's always tripped out because I speak like this. But when you get in my car, I am bumping Redman, Muddy Waters.
See,
that's
what I'm talking about.
I'm all like hip hop, like, yeah. But then you speak to me, and I speak like this. And it just freaks people out. Or I'm listening to Linkin Park and Metallica and Korn, and I'm just, that's who I am. I'm everything. I'm the kid that I refuse to be put in a bubble that tells me that I can only listen to a certain type of music, I can only speak a certain type of way, I can only hang out with a certain type of people, and I can only watch a certain type of thing, because that's not my universe. And we all create our own universe, and my universe says that I'm free to explore and enjoy everything in my presence at this time, and love people and help people. And sometimes I freak out old people because they're walking down the street with their canes, and I'm driving by, and I'll reverse, and I'll be like, hey, you need a ride? No, I'm just around the corner. I was like, okay, no problem, have a nice day. Because that's who I am, okay? I pick up strangers that are on my way and ask them if they need a ride, because you know what? You never know. It's life. Present the opportunities and take it.
I'm judging you by your blessings. That's what I'm doing. I'm judging you by your blessings, and you are highly blessed and highly favored. So I love that. Going back to your books. You say a lot of your past is influenced by your books. What else influences your stories?
I think my research, because I call myself a desktop theologian, basically, because I love studying religion, because I think to know a person is to know their beliefs, and to know a person's belief is to know what their religion aspect is. You can tell a lot about a person by what their philosophy is. So I try to study everybody's philosophy, because I want to understand where they're coming from. I'm not going to make a blatant statement because a lot of people do that because they don't know anything about somebody's background. They've only learned superficially what they think from the media or whatever about being Jewish or being Muslim or being Protestant or Jehovah's Witness without studying it. And then they make a blatant statement about it that may offend the person because they didn't take a chance to know it. At the end of the day, the thing that I've learned about most religion is there need to be accepted and there need to believe that it's for the betterment of humanity. Now, if it's old world humanity that, you know, like your wife should be beaten and you should like marry a woman half your age plus 7 or whatever, it is what it is. But you should know that before you get into a conversation with a person and you try to say something. And I try to incorporate that in my books, but more in a sense of how I feel about religion. Because I'm a spiritualist. I don't call myself Christian or anything else. I say that I'm more spirit driven. I listen to my heart and I listen to my mind with everything that I'm doing. So in that sense, I'm not going to judge a person from anybody else. I'm going to judge them as a human being. Like, as a human being to another human being, this is how I feel, and I'm going to take care of you as a human being, not as a Jew or a Muslim or a Protestant or a Christian or anything else, but as a person.
Okay.
And that's how I try to come across in my book. And I try to teach these things through, I would say, parables, the different storylines that I incorporate, the different scenes that my characters are able to be brought into for people to see. Like, I've been doing a series of short stories in my website, and it's been called The Witch. And if you read the short story, it's about witchcraft, not really, because it's about a mom who was a medicine woman to the village. And the village started getting sick and they accused her of witchcraft and they went after her and everything. And it's about the misunderstanding, about how we misunderstand different people. You think you know a person, and as soon as your knowledge of that person changes in your mind, suddenly the fear grows, and then suddenly you're on the offensive. You're attacking that person, even though that's the same person that's been in your house, has been helping you all this time. Just a little bit of knowledge changed your whole mind, and now you're attacking a person that's been good to you all this time. And that's where that story developed.
Okay. Well, how many titles do you have?
How many talents?
Titles.
Titles? Oh my god. Master of the Universe. Let me see. Master of the Universe, Goddess of the Moon, Protector of Women's Virginity. It's fun because my name is Luna, which is the Goddess of the Moon. But there's a very interesting story behind how I got my name. It was actually a dream that my mother's best friend's mom had. She was pregnant with me and she didn't know that she was pregnant. Nobody knew she was pregnant, and I guess my godmother's mom had a dream that the goddess of the moon or the saint of the moon came down and she was giving out presents to everybody in the village. And when my mom opened her present, it was a baby. And she found out she was 2 months pregnant with me, so they named me after the goddess of the moon. And I was born under a full moon. to top it all off named Luna. So that was crazy. So I'm always tripping people out about that. I was like, dude, I'm like a goddess of the moon. Like, I control tides. And the human body is like 90% water, so I control you.
Because the moon controls the tide. So yeah, exactly. I love that. Well, now I want to know. You have all this wisdom. You have all this. How many books do you have so far?
Right now, I have 3 books out. I have Menarn the Problem, Love, Laugh, and Live with Passion, which is a journal and activities book for helping people just take more initiative and more action in their lives. It's all about taking action. A lot of people read books but don't take the action steps for it. And my latest book is My Life, My Rules, which is about deportation and facing the consequences of losing your family and spirituality. There's a great amount of spirituality in this book because that was my phase that I was going through. And right now I'm working on a 4-book series which is about a mixture between law of attraction, spirituality, and what I want from this 4-book series is that I want people to understand that how one thing relates to the other. Like, they call it witchcraft, but what is the difference between somebody saying a spell that rhymes and somebody saying a mantra or a what do you law of attraction? You say a repetitive statement to refocus your mind. Like, what is the difference between all 3 of those things? And it's just how you perceive it, because some people perceive one thing as one thing and one thing as another and as one thing as another. And I'm hoping because I think that's all artists, that I can incorporate it in a way that it's feasible to the mind, that people understand. Like, I may have they may call it witchcraft, and I may call it this, and they may call it that, but if you look at it on just the most primal level, it's the same thing. It's saying words to get an outcome from, in a certain way with a certain energy to a certain thing. It's a work in progress. I'm still working on it.
Well, I'll tell you what, you're doing a very good job as far as preaching, because it mainly seemed to me like you're preaching tolerance as well as educating. So when people think witchcraft, they think evil. When people think incantations, they think evil. So
I hope I'm talking to people. I sound better over food, because I normally feed my friends before I go through this. And I love food. I swear, I love cooking. Cooking and writing are my 2 things, and I think it's because you're creating something from nothing. And I love cooking, and I love writing, and that's my 2 things. Like, I hate shopping for shoes. I hate shopping for clothes. I'm the girl that hates going to the mall. And it drives my husband crazy, because I'll be like, babe, I have this event to go to. Could you? He's like, no, go and get me a dress. Please don't make me go to the mall. He's like, no, you go to the mall and pick up some things. But if it's a dinner party that I'm having, I'll go to the farmer's market and I'll be there for like 4 hours picking vegetables and cheese and meat and everything. Everybody likes I like shopping for food.
right.
And books. I'll probably just stay in the library for a while.
I do that. I do that all the time.
A lot of times when I ask authors for interviews, I usually get a lot more than I bargain for, which is great. For anyone who wants to be on the author's corner, I often tell them all the time, I don't do Q&A. I have conversations. So whatever you want to do, however you want to say it, and Luna knocked that out of the park. Now, we're not done with Luna Charles yet. Actually, there's part 2 coming up later in the show. But as promised, we're going to have the Author's Corner's first cooking segment with Abenaa coming up next.
On the way to make problems to come today, but I promise it won't invade as I shine. I'm right above you, consider the constellation. If not, then it's because of the friction of constant hate. And I must supply my own, cause the envious they can be the friction.
But I can talk more. You start a lot of shit, but I can start more. You don't really want beef. Y'all, all of y'all, boss it up, do what you do. Bread, what I'm getting over everything. That's how I'm living. Hate.
They never see me break while I'm on this paper. I just go and let them hate. They can never see me break while I'm on this paper. Chase a bigger bank.
Time for session, my nigga, let's begin. I'm damn near 20 years in, a fuckery ends. On a
Okay, it's my turn. Time to go in, but I'ma keep.
Bread over stupid shit. Bread over stupid shit. House, house, house.
Hold up. You heard me? It's nuisance. Hold up. Yeah. I'm straight jamming. You heard me? We be jamming. Every day, all day.
Stay away from me, you freak! Are we getting any closer, Mark?
Before his book, Murder by Execution, is released, get to know investigative reporter Mark Alexander in his first 2 books by author H.D. Campbell. Late Murder at 10. Find the murder of news anchor killed on the air. Start, the virtual killer. Track down a very dangerous cyber serial killer before the body count rises. Get both books at your favorite bookstore at Amazon.com and other online outlets. Also available on Kindle and Nook.
Welcome back. This will be the first of many cooking segments of this show. We're going to be back with Abenaa, and she's going to be making us a green smoothie. Now, the wonderful thing I love about Abenaa is we don't have a lot of natural vegan cooks on TV, which is actually going to lead to a surprise announcement I'm going to make at the end of the show. Now, without further ado, because I'm trying not to give it away, here's Abenaa making us a nice green smoothie.
Alrighty, so we're going to be making a green smoothie. I'm going to be using kale. You can see the kale here. Kale is a very nutritious vegetable. I mean, it has every vitamin, mineral in the world in here. It helps with all kinds of conditions and diseases and everything. So kale, people, use kale. Okay, so just take the kale off the leaf. You want to wash it. I washed this already. Wash it. And take it off of the stem. I'd say, and another thing I want to say is that you don't have to have like expensive equipment. You can use just an everyday blender. And what I do is just break the kale up a little bit first. Just break it up by hand to kind of give it a head start in the blender. And you add your milk. I'm going to use almond milk, but you can use whatever you want to use. You can use like organic juice, apple juice, orange juice. I'm using I'm using almond milk because I just want something creamy. and you put about a cup of almond milk in there. And what I do is I get the greens going first because it's fibrous and it may be hard to break up, and you want to give that a head start. Got that, open up some. I'm going to use a mango. I'm going to show you how to cut up a mango the easiest way. Like if I was just eating this, I would just take the skin off and just eat it. But because I'm using it for this, I'm just going to show you how to cut it up into chunks. Yeah, you can see. So you just start on one side, slice it, slice the other side off. And then you just make cut the lines horizontally and vertically, and you'll be making little squares. And then you can just cut it off of the skin. Blender. Oh, can't get the top off. And mine is a little mushy because I froze it. I was going to eat it frozen, but I decided to just let it thaw out. But it'll actually break down a little bit better in a blender like this also. That's if you don't have a high power blender, because I don't have a high power blender. I just have a regular blender you buy out of the store. Costs about $30 for a nice blender. Alright. Then I have a banana. I like to use the banana when it already has the black spots on it. That's when it's at its sweetest. And usually, you freeze the banana. It'll actually make your smoothie nice and creamy and cold. I like mine cold, creamy, smooth. Then I have an orange. I'm going to use the orange segment, so I'm just going to peel the skin off of the orange. So you peel the skin and the white pith off to get to the orange segments. I don't know if you can see. Okay. It may take you a little while to get a handle on peeling the skin off, but you do it a couple times. It'll be good. Now you can see the segments, and you just take your knife in between the segments and cut it off. Now you got the segment without the skin. And you do it all the way around the orange. And that way you don't have to get any of the other parts of the orange. You just get the good juices of the orange. Because that's all I want. And, okay, you peel all the segments off. You can squeeze and get the rest of the juice out. Then, crank your blender back up. Okay. Now you see it's kind of a minty green color. And the longer you blend it, then you get all the little lumps and everything out of it. But it's really good, nice and tasty. I'm gonna drink some. You see me drinking it. It's refreshing. You can taste the bananas in it. You can taste the kale. A little, you can taste the cacao, but it's nice and sweet. The orange juice has made it nice and sweet, and so has the mango. So enjoy yourself a nice green smoothie at the start of your day, every day, instead of starting your breakfast with grits and egg and hard things. Break your fast in the morning with a nice smoothie. Your body will thank you, and you will be energized. Instead of wanting to go to sleep in the morning or feeling sluggish, this will actually give you a power boost. So enjoy a green smoothie in the morning or any time of the day when you need an extra kick. There we go. It's better with the straw. Yeah.
I love that cooking segment. And I can't wait to give you that surprise announcement at the end. But for right now, I'm going to keep it on the DL and just move it along. My next interview is going to be part 2 with Luna Charles Hardcastle. Stay tuned.
Just who is author H.D. Campbell, you ask? He's the multi-genre author you have yet to get to know. Once you open his books, you can have a romance, get wrapped up on a world of mystery and suspense, or you can go on a journey to stop an international incident. To learn more, log on to hdcampbell.weebly.com for book specials and more. And as always, let your writing fuel your spirit. If I knew they were sending men this time, we have to find the warhead.
Stop an international incident right from your couch or bedroom. By the Sergeant Wise Guy Chronicles series by author H.D. Campbell. Freed as American Agent Codename, Sergeant Wise Guy must use his powerful skills of battlefield strategy to find a Soviet nuclear warhead stolen during a time of unrest. Then read as he fights to stop a plague unleashed upon the East Coast. With each page turning, spine-tingling page, you also get the chronicles of a wise but wisecracking thorough agent. Get his view of life and the mission in the Sergeant Wise Guy series. Get both books at your favorite bookstore and at Amazon.com and other online outlets. Also available on Kindle and Nook.
Welcome back to the Author's Corner. We now have the conclusion of our interview with Luna Charles Hardcastle. And let me tell you something about this woman. This woman accused me of pulling a Barbara Walters on her. How dare she? Well, you get to see why. Maybe you saw why last time, but maybe you get to see why again in this conclusion of the interview.
How long have you been writing?
I don't know. I think I've always been writing. I think I've been writing emotionally, not just because of school and stuff, since I was 12 years old. And that's when I went to middle school and I finally understood how different that I was from other kids. Because it was then that, the real pain of being Haitian and being singled out really hit me, and I didn't have many friends. And my mom is like Harriet Tubman. She's like shotgun in hand, tough it out type of woman. They don't like you because you're Haitian. They don't know anything about Haiti. Don't worry about it. And I guess I get that her skin, I carry her skin, but I put a lot of pain and a lot of anger on paper because I couldn't really verbalize it. I still feel like I'm learning English, and it's strange because I've been in America longer than I've been in Haiti, but I still think a lot differently than I would say most Americans, philosophically and spiritually and just socially. I feel different than a lot of other people. So I would say I started writing when I was 12, and I killed everybody in my story. Everybody died. It was a grisly death. And when people read my stories, I remember my teacher would be like, "It's okay. It's because you went through so much trauma in your home. It's okay. You're just venting it out." And I was like, "Okay, if you say so. I just want to kill people in my stories."
Well, I'll tell you what. You have such passion in your words. You have a lot. You have a thick skin. It brings you a lot of sense of humor, and it also brings you a lot of success. I guess my next question is, how are you receiving your success?
I'm How am I receiving my success? Notice how mute I am on that. I don't know. I don't know. I guess I would say it's the thing that you're used to bulldozing your way through things. And then when you finally have people that say that, "Oh my God, you're great, and you win awards and stuff," you still can't believe it because you spend so much time just your nose to the ground, just pushing through. So I don't know. I don't know how to receive it. I don't have no idea how to receive it. It's still very difficult for me to acknowledge that I'm good at anything because I'm still trying to be good in my mind. Okay, I'm still trying in my mind to be good. Even if somebody tells me I'm good, somehow I'm still thinking I could be better, And it is what it is. And eventually maybe I'll wake up and I'll be like, "Oh my God, I'm good," but it's not gonna be today.
Right.
It's not gonna be today.
That just means you're a very humble person.
It's an emotional experience because my first book, I wrote out of pain and anger and everything. I had a lot. And the first few people that read it and were like, "This is my family, this is what I'm going through, this is exactly how I'm experienced, and thank you." Just like now, it's more than me. It's beyond me. It feels like, something that was meant to be, and I'm just glad that I didn't let fear get in the way of what the universe wanted me to do, because so many people have to do something. Like, everybody, I believe, is put on this earth to do something. And they may think it's small and it doesn't mean anything and it won't mean anything, but the truth is you never know who it's gonna affect. And I didn't know who it was gonna affect, and I was so happy about it. And it just made me feel like I accomplished something. And I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful because I was able to accomplish a part of what the universe meant for me to accomplish. Like, to help somebody through my words overcome something was awesome.
Well, I usually save this question to the end, but this is an appropriate time to ask this question. What type of advice can you give to someone who is trying to find their way, whether it's in writing or whether it's just trying to be accepted? What type of advice can you give?
I think Okay. This is my whole personal philosophy. We are bombarded by activities all day that just takes away from our internal guidance system. Okay? Back in the days, there was no TV, there was no internet, there was no cell phone, there was anything. There was the ability to just sit around and listen. Just listen to what was being said to you, what your internal guide was being said to you. Okay? And we don't do that anymore. We're at a job for 8 hours a day. We come home, we cook dinner, we're with our family, and then we're with TV, and then we're asleep, and then we wake up and do it anything anymore. Again. And we don't take the time to just listen to ourselves. And I think our higher selves, something inside of us is always trying to speak to us. But we are so involved with everything that we don't take the time to listen to it. And for somebody, I would say just spend 15 minutes a day in quiet time outside. Me and my husband always have this huge fight because he's like all Marvels, and I love Marvels because Rogue is my girl. I'm not even going to start about the remake of Rogue on the Batman because it was completely let down, but I'm a DC girl. Batman.
Hey, I grew up on DC. I'm a DC boy. I'm a DC boy. There's nothing wrong. You know, like you, I love them both, but I'm a DC guy. I'm a hopeful.
Yeah, like, come on. Really?
Well, let me ask you this, because right now we are doing the interview right now. Let me ask you this: are you that type of person that will go to one of those movies and analyze it more than you enjoy it? I'll still enjoy it, huh? Go ahead.
If I read the book first,
right?
Because let me tell you about every Dean Koontz book that was ever made into the movie.
Yep.
Royally sucked.
It did.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie.
And like Michael Crichton rewrote Jurassic Park Part 2 or Part 3 to make into. I was so upset. I was like, I don't know. I was like 16 or 17. I was so mad. And Michael Crichton, I didn't even know who the guy was. I was like, you rewrote the book for the stupid movie. It was not even the same. These people dead. They're dead. I'm like,
you ruined it. You ruined the book.
Let the movie be what it is.
So no. Well, before we get to the sci-fi, I just want to ask you one quick question. I want to ask you another question about your fans or new fans. How would we get to know you? Where can we go to get to know you, know more about your books, be able to talk to you?
Everybody can always email me at lunacharles.com. My website, I keep a blog that everybody can access me. I'm pretty accessible. I try to be very, very friendly. As anybody knows by my posts on Facebook, I don't appreciate people calling me at 7 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday demanding things of me. I try to be a very polite person, so I want politeness back, and I just want just being considering, like, who calls somebody at 7 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday? Like, expect them to be with their family, you know? Mm-hmm. That's my time to be annoyed for watching Frozen for the umpteenth time. It's like, really? Do we have to see Frozen again? I've seen it like 20 times already. Yes, Mommy. We have to see Frozen again.
I need to at least see it once. I have a boy, but I need to see it at least once. I'm sorry.
Yeah. You want to borrow one of mine?
Because he's not interested, but I at least want to see it to say I did.
No.
You know, because like I say, he's into...
I don't know. I feel like I think I phase out of Frozen every time I see it.
Right.
But yet, I'm a huge Beauty and the Beast fan. And my daughter knows that. Every time she's like, why do you love Beauty and the Beast? I was like, because you gave her a library. I want a library.
Right.
I don't want to be given a library. Can I have a library, please?
See, that's what I'm, because see, nothing, and to me, you give me a book, I'm putting it in your hands. I'm serious. That's how I am. I love books. Forget everything else.
Do. I have like so many books that I haven't even read yet. It's funny because I'll go into a bookstore. I'm like, I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna buy this and this and this because eventually I will get a chance to read it. But until then, I'm gonna keep them.
Right. No, there's nothing wrong with that.
And then there's the books read halfway, and then you start another book. Or I've tried to read like 3 books at the same time. Like I'll have a book that I read during lunch, and a book that I read when I'm going to sleep, and a book that I'll read when I'm awake, when I first wake up.
See.
You can tell book obsessed people, it's silly. You open their what do you call them, the nightstand drawer, and you see like books in there. Like, don't judge me.
Right. Well, now, do you have a website?
Yes, it's lunacharles.com. LUNACHARLES.com, and that is where I mostly hang out on and spew silliness and ridiculousness.
Well, one thing I'm very big on interviewing people who are very big on family. And you are very big on family. You mention your husband and the kids all the time. And I know if you're silly for us, I know you definitely keep them going. How, pretty much so, how does the family life go? How does it feel being a mom, a wife?
You know what it is? It's, we have a big family. I am the oldest of 5 kids. My mom was a single mom, not by choice, but because she at some point decided that she couldn't take the abuse anymore that she was going through, and she didn't want her daughters to have to witness it or deal with it. And my mom is one of my heroes, and a lot of people say this, and I say this to the point that after my mom divorced my sister's dad, she literally stopped dating. Okay. And this is a beautiful, smart woman, and her basic reason for not dating and not bringing anybody into her home was because she had daughters that she was raising, and she didn't want any strangers coming into her home that might hurt her children in any way. And I am very thankful for that, because only God knows what would have happened to us if that had happened, because nowadays you're not sure of what you're bringing into your home, because so many people have so many different thought processes. And family to me is everything. Like and we have a huge family, and my daughters love it. Like, they absolutely love it. When we have Thanksgiving dinner, we literally have to hire people to rent tables and chairs, because you have literally at least 25 people in our immediate family that live within a 5-mile radius, Wow. So if we're like, oh, it's just a family, yeah, it's like, where's just the family gonna park,
See.
So I'm very thankful for it. I'm thankful for my sisters, Janie and Jaidi. I'm thankful for my husband, Louis. I'm thankful for my grandmother, Marie, that passed away, and my husband's grandmother, Gumita, that, is a huge spiritual person in my life. Not that she's very religious, but she, introduced me to William James, and she introduced me to Emerson, and because she was a literary professor. So I married into a family you attract what you give out. I married into a family of a literary professor, and it's just great, and I love it. And we fight. I want to beat my brothers most of the time because I don't understand boys. Like, what is wrong with boys? And,
We have a mental
but
deficiency.
at the end of the day, we're a family, and it's what builds you, destroys you, reconstructs you, and pushes you forward to become a better person. Is a good family and a good structure.
I see so many facets of you. I mean, even now, and I'm learning so much, even though there are things I've already knew, but there are things I didn't know. One thing I can say throughout this whole interview, you're very humbled, you're very strong, you're very spiritual. You are so much to so many people, but who are you to yourself?
I am a person that's still learning, and that's always going to be learning. I'm a seeker of truth. I just want to understand why things are what they are. And as I learn and I grow, I try to write it from my perspective, and hopefully my perspective help somebody else's perspective grow.
Okay. Now, I want to ask you another question. If you could write a letter to your 10-year-old self, what would you write? What would you say?
My 10-year-old self?
If you could actually give advice to your 10-year-old self, to your young self, what would you call? What would you do?
My 10-year-old self. Yeah, you should beat the kid that beat up your little brother. That's not cool.
I love that.
And don't be so scared of your own voice. It's okay to stand up for yourself. I spent a lot of time hiding inside myself because I was afraid of what the world might think. And you know what? I read this. It was an essay or something from a guy that his father was this really nice guy that tried to please everybody. And when his father passed away, there was 5 people at his dad's funeral. It was for all of that time, my dad spent trying to please everybody. There was only 5 people that loved him enough to show up at his death to pay respect to him. He should have spent more time just, trying to be him and trying to be happy and not worrying so much about making everybody happy. And I would tell my 10-year-old self to fly. To just step on the ledge, open my wings and fly, not worry about trying to make everybody happy.
Well, I'm going to interject this. I'm going to switch gears. You sound like a woman all of her life just struggling to be loved, when basically you're loved anyway because you're yourself, and that is just so wonderful, and that makes you a wonderful person. And I just hope you just don't change. You do not. I don't know how old you are, but as long as you do not change now or ever, you will always be loved.
I will not try to change. But I'm gonna get older, and I'm probably gonna get more adventurous. I'm gonna go from being my only friend that went skydiving to being my only friend that went base diving.
Cool.
And I'll get my Jeep and go mountain climbing and then do whatever. Because I learned a long time ago from my friend, may she rest in peace, that some people die because they were born to die early from disease. Some people die because of their infections, addiction, whatever. And some people die quietly and sadly without ever living their life. But life is not promised to any of us. You can go out tomorrow and get hit by a bus. So you need to live the life you're given to the fullest.
I love that. I love that. Now, switching gears. I know we talked about this earlier, but I'm going to ask you again. You're going to love these questions. Star Trek, Star Wars, and Star Trek versus Star Wars, and why?
Data.
And why? Data. All right. Marvel.
Data. I have such a huge crush on Data. And my friends were like, "He's a robot." I was like, "Yes, but he's logical. He's so logical because he would just tell me what, like." You'd be like, well, I know you're feeling this way, but it is the hormones in your body that are fluctuating at the present moment.
Yes, he will.
Feel this way. So it is not any kind of in-depth situation that you're in. It is just the physiology of the human body.
I call Data computer Spock. That's basically what he is, computer Spock.
What's a computer Spock? He's also, he's Data, like, and he's like, wait, I think he's stronger than Spock, so yeah. He's better.
Yeah, it's much better. All right.
Yeah.
Marvel, DC, and why?
DC, because they have Batman, and Batman is the most awesome superhero ever.
He is.
And let me break it down why Batman is the most awesome superhero ever. One, he's a man. He wasn't mutated, he wasn't bitten by a spider, wasn't born with extra energy or whatever. He muscled it out, yo. Like, to all my people that are training, that are in the gym, they're like, Fit Club Batman, come on, because he's like, yeah, I'm gonna fight this guy out, like, you know, yeah, he's a rich guy. But unlike other rich guys, he's not flying all over the world, pimping. He masquerades at that. Really and truly, he's trying to save the world. That's all he's doing. Yes, I understand he shows a bat and has like the whole bat thing. But really, bat versus spider, okay?
Exactly.
Who's scary? You have to pick the scarier one, okay?
I'm a huge Batman fan.
The Batmobile. Who has a cooler freaking car?
Right.
Come on. Nobody has a cooler freaking car.
You know what's sad? I often told people, even if I could fly, I would still, and I had that money to have that type of car, I would still use the car.
He uses like
No, but I'm saying though, if I had Bruce Wayne's money, whether I can fly or not, I would still use the Batmobile. See, because
Batmobile is awesome. You're like, it's a Batmobile. It's like when somebody come out, and like, I'm a big Jeep enthusiast. Like, my next car is gonna be a Wrangler, hands down. It's gonna be a ridiculous Wrangler with like 31-inch tires, and I'm gonna go mudding, and I'm gonna be all wild out,
right,
ridiculous with my Wrangler. But you get the Batmobile, come on, dude. I'd be driving up the wall, just like, I'm sorry, here, the carrot, thank you.
I'll just show up to places for no apparent reason just because I got the car. That's
yeah. It's like, oh, does my car offend you? I'm sorry.
All right, my next question is, what's your favorite superhero movie to date?
My first what? My favorite what?
Your favorite superhero movie.
My favorite superhero movie? Oh my gosh. I was gonna say the Batman trilogy, the one that was just done because they're gonna kill it. Okay, I'm not gonna say they're gonna kill it because I do like Ben Affleck as an actor. However, do we remember the Batman that happened with, what's his name, and Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze?
Yeah, I remember. George Clooney's Batman. George Clooney, yep.
George Clooney, oh my God, this is a warning for past. Like, let's be a warning. Like, let's not repeat the past.
You know what? You know what? Skylar's in big into superheroes like I am. I waited to the very last minute to show him that movie. He actually just saw that movie last year. Cause I try to refrain him from watching that.
I did it like a couple of weeks ago or a couple of months ago. Tried to power through it, and then Mr. Freeze came. Everybody freeze. And I was like, no, can't do it.
Well, see, I'm glad. Well, I'm glad I have a son who thinks the same way we do because he thought the whole thing was ridiculous as well. So
It was beyond ridiculousness. It was like anti-ridiculousness. It was just. I don't know who was the director of that, but they should hold their head down.
They should never direct another movie ever. Well, I was asking, how'd you get into sci-fi? How'd you get into science fiction?
I think I'm not sure, but I think it was because I grew up around comic book nerds. Like my friends growing up, my next door neighbors were avid collectors of comic books. Like we had dressers full of clothes. They had dressers full of first edition comic books wrapped in plastic. Like, don't touch them unless you have a glove, and don't break the spine type of situation, you know?
Right.
I got the chicken pox one year when I was in 5th grade, and I got to read through their whole Marvel's universe. I'm talking about the whole Marvel's universe, the one that included Jean Grey marrying
Scott,
Wolverine, and having Phoenix as a child. You know,
Yep.
Like, I read those comic books. Like that was my elementary school years. So. Yeah, so thank you, James Broshi and Chris Broshi, but that's how I got to it. And I think that's what made me not like every other girl that I knew, because I was into comic books and sci-fi and thinking about universes and wormholes and, you know, black and antimatter. And
well, you know, what a lot of people don't... Right. See, what a lot of people don't realize, and what the movies are doing now, they're actually showing people that these are actually real stories with real mythologies and philosophies and everything. And I love that they're finally bringing that into the fold.
Yeah, well, I think, and this is my thing, what I try to do, and I hope I do with my stories, because as a writer, you don't know how your readers are perceiving it, is you have to incorporate knowledge into what you're writing. And I hope, like, somebody will read something and go into the internet and research it, and that will lead them down a rabbit hole that will lead them down something else, into something else, into something else, into something else, until their mind has to be expanded and their knowledge has to be gained from it. You know, like, knowledge has to be gained from it.
That's it.
And I think that's what a lot of comic books did for a lot of kids, because those writers incorporated a lot of science, not fiction, but science facts into it, you know, that caused kids to think outside of the universe. Like, I would love to know what comic book George Lucas was reading.
Yes. Yes.
What was he reading? What comic books was he reading? Because obviously something sparked that seed.
The whole Star Wars
mind.
thing, exactly. Now, my next question is, I'm not going to ask you your favorite. I'm going to ask you your top 3 science fiction movies of all time.
Huh?
Top 3 science fiction movies of all time.
Top 3 science fiction movies of all time. Top 3 science fiction movies of all time. Oh my God, I don't know.
And no cheating. No Star Trek 1, 2, and 3. No cheating.
Oh, that's hard. Like, what are my go-to science fiction movies? Like, movies. So
you can go with series or whatever you want to.
Willow.
Huh? I'm sorry.
Willow.
Oh yes, Willow. That's a good. Yeah.
I
Good
love
series.
Willow. Willow is completely awesome. Um, I love Dragonheart because it was emotional and it was something that me and my best friend actually loved together. But it's not a huge, big budget movie. It's not even like a 5-rated movie. It was a good movie. And I don't know. I don't know.
You named some. You named a couple of good ones.
I like Dooms, but that's more of a series, not more of a movie.
That's fine. Dune is a great series as well. So I mean, no, you can do that. You can. I mean, that's pretty cool too.
Yeah, like Dooms was awesome. Like it really made you think. Like I like Dooms.
That's cool. So now, with all that I know about you, I want to give you the final word. What would you like to say to your audience? What would you like to say about the show? What would you like to say, period? You had the final word.
If I have anything to say to everybody is what would be the one thing that you can remove from your past that would let you follow your dreams without hesitation? Like, what would it be? If fear wasn't an object, or money wasn't an object, or you can't say I don't have the time, or I don't have anything, what would it take for you to just do it? You know? And I understand you can't get up and leave and take from your kids because you're a mom or whatever, but you can take a baby step. You know? It just takes one step. And keep taking steps little by little. And that's it. Never allow myself to be that raw in front of people. But that day I was like, it wasn't me, it was my spirit telling me that I just need to let people know that I'm just like them. You know, I get angry, I walk around, I kick things, I break my toenails, and then I'm angry because I broke a toenail and now I have to go get a pedicure. But you need to allow yourself to be human. And we're too busy trying to be these people that are not real. And it's okay to be real. It's okay to be normal. It's okay to be hurt. It's okay to cry. It's okay to feel. We're supposed to feel. Okay? We're human. That's what separates us from all other animals. It's our ability to feel, understand our feelings, and deal with our feelings. You know what I mean? It's beyond primal. Okay? It's consciousness. It's the understanding that we're all connected and we all learn and we all love and we all are all one. And sometimes that means being hurt, but as long as you get hurt and you move on and you become better from it, and you know you fell down, you got hurt, you scraped your knees, and then the next person that falls down, you help them up. You're doing your part as a human being. You're gaining knowledge, and I hope. My hope is I hope that I'm gaining knowledge. I hope that I'm passing on knowledge. That's my basic hope. My basic hope is that I'm passing on something worthwhile to somebody that's gonna either help them or help somebody else. That's it. That's all I want. That's it. Nothing more. This is Bishop.
Hey,
Say
Bishop.
hi, Bishop. Your breath thing. Say hi, Bishop. Bye, Bishop. He's like the hugest, most happy-go-lucky puppy ever.
Cool.
That likes to eat everything.
See, I love that. Hold on one second.
Good times, good times. I'm always having a good time talking to Luna Hardcastle. She is just so wonderful, great to talk to, and one of those people you can talk to about anything under the sun. Now, speaking of which, I have another fellow sci-fi nut coming soon, Shonell Bacon. She's coming up next with the Writer's Toolbox. Actually, let's go a little tidbit. Me, Luna, and Chanel are getting together and putting together a little something sci-fi wise, but as way on the back burner. But we'll be back with Chanel in a bit.
Press kits, manuscript editing, marketing, and more. What do you need? HD Campbell Productions will help you design a package you need for your project. Let us serve you with your literary or marketing needs. We do editing, press kits, book trailers, book formatting, marketing, web editing, and more. What can HD Campbell do for you? Log on to his website at hdcampbell.weebly.com for more information. You can email him at hdcampbell1230@gmail.com or call him at 314-265-9169 so he can set up a package for you. Check us out, and as always, let your writing fuel your spirit. Have you experienced the Bruce Williams series of books, How to Lose a Black Woman and Geraldine? Experience Bruce Williams' journey, true love, and possible missteps along the way through his eyes, his poetry, and prayers. Then, meet Geraldine, whose own search for love makes some quite interesting and possibly dangerous turns. When she gets involved in a love triangle, she must find out within herself whom she wants to be with and whom she needs to be with. With special appearances by Bruce Williams, Geraldine and her friends help you experience her journey. Try How to Lose a Black Woman and Geraldine at your local bookstore, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or on your Nook and Kindle tablet.
Welcome back to the Author's Corner. As authors, we have problems with beginning scenes and ending scenes. I've been there, done that, still there doing that. Well, Shonell Bacon offers this tip for helping you with author scene endings on your manuscripts. Here it is.
Hey there, everyone. This is author, editor, and educator Shonell Bacon. Today I want to talk briefly about chapter and scene endings. When I edit clients' manuscripts, one of the comments that I often make is in regards to this issue. Because what writers tend to do, and remember this is because typically it's your first draft and first drafts can be ugly. But typically what we see at the end of chapters and scenes are conclusions. So for example, if you have this really great dialogue between characters in your scene, you conclude it with the conclusion of the conversation. If you have really great action going on in a scene or chapter, you end that scene or chapter with the conclusion of the action. The problem with that, because that in and of itself is not the issue, but the issue is that we need something that's going to compel the reader to go to the next page to read the next chapter, or to skim their eyes over the white space to go to the next scene. So when you're revising these scenes and these chapters, what you want to do is ask yourself, what does this conversation have to do with conflicts in the story, with your main character and his or her conflict? What does the action that actually is going on here, what does this action have to do with the story as a whole, with the conflict, with how the story is developing for the main character? When you tie your actions and your conversations, when you tie your scenes and your chapters to the purpose of your story, to your main character's journey through this story, that compels and propels the reader forward because they want to know what's going to happen next. I hope this tip helped. You can check out more about me at my website, ShonellBacon.com. You can also learn about my editorial services at CLG Entertainment. That's CLG-entertainment.com. Thank you, HD, for having me, as always. And I'll be back soon with another tip to help you guys out. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, Shonell. I can't wait for your next segment. One thing that Shonell does, which is one thing we as authors can't fall and trap us, Shonell teaches. And the great thing about us teaching is we don't know everything as authors. So whenever she does these segments, you're always learning something new. I don't care if you have 1, 2, 3 books in or 6 in like me. I don't care if you're beginning. You can always learn something, and Shonell always brings it. So we love you. Thank you. Can't wait for your next segment. Now, when we return, we're going to round out the show with Author Tasha Bynum and our gossip segment. In fact, she has a treat for me as well as you all, too. Luke came to town here in St. Louis, and we saw the YouTube video and all that other stuff, but she got more to the story. I can't wait. Stay tuned.
Relationship issues? Need help talking to your mate? Or just need some advice? Meet columnist Sharifa Newsom. She offers no-holds-barred advice with your heart and mind. Check out her columns regularly in the HD Insider page on the HD Campbell website at hdcampbell.weebly.com. And as always, let the writing fuel your spirit.
Trying to diss bloods. I'm a real nigga, so real niggas close me up. I had a conversation after y'all.
I end up on the way to many problems to come today, but I promise they won't invade as I shine. I'm right above you, consider the constellation. If not, then it's because of the friction of constant hate. And I must supply my own, cause the envious they can be the friction.
But I can talk low. You start a lot of shit, but I can start low. You don't really want beef. Y'all, all of y'all, boss it up, do what you do. Bread, what I'm getting over everything. That's how I'm living. Hate,
They never see me break while I'm on this paper.
I
just go and let them hate. They can never see me break while I'm on this paper. Chase a bigger bank.
Cipher session, my nigga, let's begin. I'm damn near 20 years in, a fuckery ends. On a
Okay, it's my turn. Time to go in, but I'ma keep.
bread over stupid shit. Bread over stupid shit. Boss, boss, boss. Hold up. You heard me? It's nuisance. Hold up. Yeah. I'm straight jamming. You heard me? Jamming. Every day, all day.
Welcome back to the Author's Corner. Here's our gossip segment with Author Tasha Bynum with a Luke extra for us. Luke came to town. Luke did what Luke does. I thought Luke had sat his old butt down, but I guess apparently not. So here's the news segment, and check out the Luke story.
Hey everybody, welcome to Author's Corner. This is Latasha, and I'm here to bring you more celebrity gossip for today. It is Friday, so I'm super excited. Let's just jump right in. I wanted to talk to you guys about, of course, this Rihanna thing, the dress, it just will not go away, right? And I have a really good bonus for you guys later because I found out some really good stuff about Luke, and I really want to share that with you, so stick around for that bonus, but let's just get into it. Okay, the dress will never go away. It's basically like J-Lo back in the day. Remember when she had the Grammy dress and everybody was just going crazy over the green dress? Well, this has taken on a life of its own because TLC basically called Rihanna a thought, I believe, or something to that extent. Basically, they do not like the dress. And they talked about it with her on Twitter, and they put at Rihanna, and you know that is just shots fired. Anytime you say something and you put at this person, just prepare. Especially
when you're dealing with Rihanna and her Navy. Yes, that is what she calls her people. That is her Navy. They salute each other. And then she just goes ham because it's Rihanna. Rihanna, of course, responded how she responds to anybody who criticizes her. And, that's basically with two middle fingers. That's just how she is. And that's what people who actually like Rihanna, that's what they like about her, that she does not care. And she doesn't care who you are or what position you hold and how historical your music is. And, whatever your position is, she does not care. Rihanna is two fingers up, and yeah. So she told them it is her life, her business, her body, however she wants to dress, fine. I'm going to leave that with you guys. You guys tell me what you think about the dress. I've talked to you guys about what I felt about it. I will take it a little further, just saying that it's in bad taste in my own little opinion. I thought it was in bad taste. I thought it was just the wrong time. Because it's never a good time to see your butt crack, okay, ever. And your boobs. She had no nipple anything, no coverings, no nothing. She was giving you full frontal. And yeah. So to me, it was just a little bit extreme. But hey, I'm 30. I'm not 30. I'm 37. But you guys get me. I'm 30 and up, and we don't do that. So you guys let me know what you think about the dress. And of course, I would like for her to show a little bit of discretion when it comes to dealing with, people that we love like TLC. But hey, let Rihanna do what she does, and we'll call it a day. All right, so we're gonna move into a little information about Chris Brown. Of course, he was released from jail the other day. Oh, sorry. Yeah, he was released from jail the other day, and it got a little crazy. I guess people were, all talking about what he's gonna do and what he's gonna be like and everything. But I saw a really cute, not selfie, but a picture of him and Karrueche reunited on. It was on. I saw it on Facebook, but I'm sure they put it on Instagram. And she posted it, and she's giving Chris Brown this big old hug, and kiss. Like she just really, really missed him. And where's Chris Brown's hands? Behind his back. He is like, I am not touching no elbows. I'm not beating nobody. I have learned my lesson. So we are just gonna continue. I really am a Chris Brown fan. And I like him. I like his music, and I'm really looking forward to the comeback. So I try to keep it very positive when it comes to him because people struggle in this industry and people make big mistakes. And, you have people like Justin Bieber, who is our next story, who has said some really racist things and some really bad things. And then he answers it with a simple apology. And we're just supposed to say, okay. And, Chris Brown has danced and cried for 10 years and nobody really cares. Nobody cares about his apology because he assaulted someone. Well, you have to pick a side. You have to pick a struggle. That's what I'll say. You either are the person who accepts apologies and everything is cool, like you probably will be with Justin Bieber, or you are just that person that holds the person accountable for the rest of their life, like they do with Chris Brown. I cannot look at Chris Brown news because if you go on the feed, it's always like, oh, he's a punk, he's this, he's that. So that is just my little rant, guys, on forgiveness. Okay, so either you're gonna forgive all the way or halfway. But don't pick teams and sides, okay? And then somebody is probably sitting there saying, they're both, punks. But anyway, okay, so with Justin, some really interesting people came to his defense about this video that is rumored to be extortion. So allegedly, people were trying to get money from him for the past, since the video, they've been holding on to the video since it was new, and it was done when he was 15. I think Justin is about 20, 21 maybe now, so I don't know. But Mike Tyson came to Justin's defense, and I'm like, where did they get Mike Tyson from? And then Whoopi Goldberg came to his defense and said that, he was young, and people make mistakes, and Justin is not that way. Of course, a lot of these people have been, in close proximity with him and everything. And, maybe at 15 he didn't have anything to lose about his views. Maybe he could say whatever he wanted to say and there would be no accountability for it. So he wasn't thinking about where he was going. He was thinking about where he was. So now he has a lot to lose. So, of course, he's not going to come around and bring all that into, he's not going to carry those feelings if he had racist feelings. He's not going to carry those with him into fame. I mean, who does that? So be really, really careful, guys, when it comes to, just making up in your mind, okay, this is okay behavior or whatever, because even though the person probably tried to get money from him, that still doesn't mean that he's not on the tape saying those things. So you guys decide, tell me what you think. All right, so time for some Uncle Luke news. Here we go. Basically, Uncle Luke was he was paid to judge a clothing contest, some sort of contest in a nightclub in St. Louis. Okay, and really pretty decent place. It wasn't like a hole in the wall type spot. Pretty nice. And Uncle Luke I guess it just wasn't hot enough for him or something, because he pulls out I don't know how much it was, but he pulls out a lot of money, and he offers to pay any woman in the room $1,000 to perform oral sex on another woman in the room, and he would pay each $1,000. Okay, so $1,000 is $1,000, and I guess that was the right price because women started doing those things, and it got out of hand and crazy real quick. Okay, and basically, Uncle Luke left the club without paying anyone. None of those women who did everything that they did got paid not a dime. But it was really funny because it always takes a man to find the humor in these things. One of the people when I shared it on there, he said, "Well, duh, you get your cash up front. You don't go do stuff without getting the cash up front." So that's just a little lesson. The club says that they're not going to blame Uncle Luke. He is banned from. They're not going to sue him or anything, but he is banned from the club. He can't come back. And they did say that they're also banning the women because really the police and stuff, they wanted to shut the club down completely just because it happened. And they're like, no, just find out who the women were, ban them from the club, ban Luke from the club, and everything will be fine. So hopefully they won't lose their their club because of that, because I mean, it's Uncle Luke, you know what I mean? Like, he's nasty and he gets it popping. So that's what he did. He got it popping. So shout out to Uncle Luke, of course. Yeah, I'll tell you, it's Miami. Anytime you invite anybody from Miami that's used to strip clubs the way Luke is used to strip clubs, it's gonna go down. Okay, so I want to tell you guys about this pastor real quick. I don't know if you guys have heard it, but it blew up on the internet. It was everywhere. The pastor who said, quote unquote, "These hoes ain't loyal." Okay. And everybody was going off on this pastor. He's a Southern pastor, I believe his show is, his sermon is like video recorded or something like that. But basically, okay, he said, he put a response video out, and he was like, you guys are really, really tripping. He said, it's really not that deep. He said, you're taking what I said out of a 30-minute sermon. He was like, this sermon, I think his sermon was like an hour and a half. So I was like, oh God, an hour and a half. But anyway, but he said they took a little snippet out of a whole hour and a half. And he was saying that, he was really kind of getting on the men in his church. And he was saying that, you go looking for women in the wrong place. Like, don't put what the other woman does on every single woman because, and also, do your homework, kind of research and see what kind of woman these people are that you're dealing with. Because you're going to pass up somebody really good to go and get with the hoe who ain't loyal. And he was just referencing that song because that song is so popular. It's so funny to me that people think that Christians or pastors or whatever are just oblivious to the world around them and they just have no idea what's going on. They know all that stuff. They may not listen to it and have it all in their house, and then some do. Who knows? But I was just saying that we really need to put a human face on Christianity instead of thinking that people should be just all, seeing they are not God. They are just humble servants. That's it. Humble servants. So, that's what I'll say. He was not just being disrespectful and just saying hoes all in the house. But it was kind of funny that after he said, these hoes ain't loyal, everybody in church started getting the hoes there and jumping around. Because that's how it looks on the video. So it's just hilarious. You have to see it. So definitely look at that video because I died for quite a while. I was laughing my butt off. And oh my gosh, let me tell you also about Keisha Cole's husband. Oh gosh, he is opening up, which he should not, about what happened with them and their split and their relationship. And he decided to talk about how they had so many differences and problems and this and that and the other. And then he goes on to say, "Now I'm not saying I didn't cheat." I was just like, stop him, grab the microphone, somebody get him off the mic, because if you have problems, they probably stem from you cheating. you can't say like, well, look, let me tell you, even if I hadn't been cheating, that would have been a perfect relationship. Like that relationship was doomed. No, it's the cheating, the disrespect, all that stuff. And if he doesn't know it by now, Keisha, he will never, never know it. You need to do your research, ladies. That leads me to another rant. You know me. Okay, I have some issues with my very successful sisters getting these guys who don't have a lot going on for themselves and then making them their managers. I have a problem with that. Kelly Rowland, Angie Stone, I don't know. I know you're women, but low key, I wanted to tell you, like, grow a set and freaking handle your own business. Get a man that has his own life, and you be a woman that has your own life. Your husband, boyfriend, whatever, should not just automatically say, "Oh, he ain't got a lot going on, let him be my manager." That doesn't. I hate that. Like every time I see it, and I'm only naming two, but there's tons of Tony Braxton. Hello, yeah, you guys remember that? Okay, no. Now Vince and Tamar, they are the exception, not the rule. They are the exception because Vince is very successful on his own. And now she's very successful on her own. So kudos. But, it took a while, and that's for them to figure out. But I'm just so tired of these women just, they being thirsty. They're being even more than thirsty. They're being dehydrated. Just because you don't have someone does not mean that you accept anything. And you really need to know that someone's there for you, and not there for you for what you can do. So, thank you, and that has been all for that. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Tasha Bynum did it again. She brings it. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about my voiceover people. I don't know what it is about my assistant. I don't know what it is about the people who do my segments. When I ask them to bring it, they bring it. They bring their own. They bring their own. They kick down the door. Man, I just don't know what to do. All I know is I'm truly blessed to have so many people in my corner. I love you all, and I can't wait for the next show. I love the people who stop by and talk to me. I've got a lot more interviews lined up. This summer's going to be hot. I've got a lot of authors who either want to be interviewed or I'm already setting interviews up with. It's going to be awesome. But before I go, here's my announcement. Abenaa and I have been in talks to put together a new cooking show for HD Camera Productions. We don't have any vegan cooks on the air, not even on the Food Network, any of the food channels. So we're gonna start our very first vegan cooking show. We're gonna do specials. We're gonna do holiday specials. We're gonna do a whole bunch of different things. It's gonna be about Abenaa, and she'll take you to the farmers market, getting natural foods, and she's also gonna teach you how to cook vegan on a budget. Now, when we talk about vegan, we don't just mean vegetarian eating salads all the time. There are ways to actually have things like macaroni and cheese and other foods that are just as good, but more healthier for you. So there'll be more on that later. Well, that's it for the Office Corner. Until next time, let your writing fuel your spirit, and God bless.